Oh, peep at my dog's food in the background. And the water. Hello, my lovely viewers. Today I'm going to be talking about some pros and cons of having online classes. I'm at a community college and I've been there for a while. And I've been taking online classes, I would say, I would at least take one online class every quarter. I go to a quarter school. It's different from a semester if you guys don't know. I have 5 pros and 5 cons that I'm going to be talking about. These are just the 5, or these are just the 10 things that I could come up with at the top of my head. I mean, there might be more either pros or cons, but I didn't think about those, so here we go. The first pro I would say is not having to physically go on campus. A little background, I go to a community college, so I will be doing like an experience video like another time, but because I go to a community college, I have to commute. The one that I go to is about 20 to 30 minutes away, so not having to physically go on campus is a blessing because girl, traffic going there from like 7 to like 10 in the morning, 7 to 9, those are some prime traffic hours, so I'm not trying to be stuck in that. I would say it's my favorite pro because I don't have to go on campus. There are a lot of days when I wake up and I just don't want to go to school. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have that feeling too, but especially I just don't want to go because it's so far away and then it's traffic and it's just I just sometimes just don't want to be at school. And sometimes like I have to because those classes aren't offered online, so you know, it sucks, but I just don't want to go to school. And it just takes up too much of my time to physically go to school, because when you have to go to school, like, you have to plan all the stuff in between, like driving there, driving home, being on campus and stuff like that, and it's just a hassle, so I just don't like that. So that's a pro, just letting you know. I would say this is the number one con I have for the list. Sometimes it's lonely. It just sometimes gets lonely because I'm taking all online classes. I'm actually taking 2 online classes. I was taking 3, but I dropped that. Because I'm taking all online classes, I don't have to go to school. Like, there's no need for me to go to school unless I need to. But it does get lonely because I am home all the time, except for when I go to work. But I work in the evening, so during the day it kind of sucks that I have no one to really interact with, so I don't have any human interaction as if I were to be in a face-to-face class, because then I could just talk to someone and be like, hey, do you get this? Hey, what did that professor say? Hey, can I see your notes? Or something like that. It's just a little human interaction, and it's sometimes nice to be on campus with people. I mean, I don't like interacting with those people, but it's just nice to have people around. So yeah, but at home I'm literally alone and I don't have anyone to talk to, so it sucks because my friends are at different colleges and then I just don't see them a lot during the week because we're all in school, so that sucks. Another pro that I would say is that it saves a lot of money. So, I mean, it isn't really saving you money like unit wise because it is a certain class, so you gotta pay for those units, but I don't have to pay for a parking permit. Yes, I mean, thankfully every quarter it's less than $30 compared to if I were going to a semester school. It would be like in the $100s, and I'm going to a community college, so it isn't as expensive. I don't have to pay for a parking permit, so I love that. And then another thing is that I don't have to pay for gas. So like I said earlier, I do have to commute 20 to 30 minutes depending on what time I leave. It could be like up to an hour or whatever. I don't have to pay for gas, so I have to drive like 30 minutes to school and then 30 minutes back home. So that's just a lot of driving, and if I had an everyday class, which I did, I would have to pay probably once a week for gas. Maybe once, no, I would say once a week because I would commute, or I would drive to work too, so I don't have to pay for as much gas. And thankfully I have like an older version car. Sorry if I'm not looking, I'm watching my dog too. Thankfully I have kind of an older car. I mean, like, I'm glad I have a car. so I don't have to pay for as much gas, and yeah, your girl's just saving a lot of money this quarter. Except for when she's spending money, you know? Another con I would say is that I don't get answers quickly. Some professors don't answer students quickly or at all. Online classes, sometimes they will have like an online office hour. So for example, let's say a professor has an online office hour from 3 to 4 p.m. Those are the best times to go and talk to your professor online. But if you don't make that time, then you would have to wait a certain amount of time to get your answer. So there's also in the syllabus, they will have a notes section that says, if you email me, my answer will get back to you within 24 hours, but on the weekends it could take 48 hours. So it really depends on the professor. And then there are professors who barely talk at all. Sometimes communications with certain professors are very hard to communicate with or non-existent. Another pro I would say is that you don't have to go to a classroom to learn your material. So with online classes, you can literally go to anywhere. You can stay at home. You could go to a coffee shop and do your homework. If I don't want to study at home, I'll probably either go to my closest Starbucks or another coffee shop, but I don't have to go to a classroom. And sometimes classrooms, I don't get the best. I don't like that environment to learn in. Sometimes I just really need to go to a different space, but like that's what online classes give you. If you're taking an online class, like you can go somewhere else to learn that material. You know, I really don't like studying in auditoriums or being taught in auditoriums because I think that's the worst way for me to learn is in an auditorium. I've realized that I've gotten lower grades if I were learning in auditoriums compared to if I was learning in a classroom. Another con I would say, and I think this is a lame con, but it is a con, if you really need to see the professor, you need to go on campus. So you would need to drive or walk on campus. So yeah, if I were to go over there, I'd need to commute 20 to 30 minutes. If I really needed to talk to the professor and I needed to stay there for more than however long the visitor parking is, then I would need to pay for a parking permit, which is about like $3 per day, so that would suck. I don't want to waste $3 just so that I can park at school for like 2 hours, you know? The fourth pro I would say is that depending on the teacher, you can do your assignment whenever you want. I've had a couple of professors that assign the assignments or that have the assignments due by the end of the quarter, but you know, exam dates would be enforced, but you could take you can do the material whenever you wanted during the quarter. So if you wanted to finish all the material before, you could do that. If you wanted to finish all the material later in the quarter, you could do that. You can just do it whenever you wanted. And I personally like that because I would finish that earlier on in the quarter. That way I could finish on classes that needed my attention. So I really like that option, but I only had a couple of professors. There are professors who have assignments due once a week, couple times a week, or like once a month, whatever. Like, I love those professors too. And then the fourth con is that there is some slack. So sometimes if an assignment is easy, I'll look at the assignments, but if it's easy enough for me to do, I won't do it right away. So that's my fault. Like, I need to learn how to do that. But yeah, like if it's easy, I'll just postpone it. And then if it's super easy, like you need to reply back to a student, sometimes I'll forget to do it. And then if it's boring, it could be super unmotivating to do. I've dropped a class because it was boring and I just wasn't interested. I mean, if you're a person who's just very independent with their online classes, like, go you. And then I'm going to do another con, the fifth con, because I want to end with a pro. So some professors suck. Sometimes they don't answer emails. Like I said earlier, they just don't answer emails. And then some of them, like I said, don't communicate with their students. I had a professor, and this is kind of my fault too, but I had a professor who did not do any announcements saying that there is a quiz, there is an exam, there are assignments due at the end of the week, tonight, whatever, whenever. Like 99% of my professors actually communicate with their students saying that there's something due tonight, there's something due next week, your midterm is coming up, your exam is coming up, I need to see your essay, something like that. But there was this one professor who did not do that at all. And so I was so mad because I missed an important assignment that was due, and it is partly my fault because I thought it was due at another time, but because I checked Canvas and it wasn't on there, so I just didn't think of it. And then I realized I realized the day later that I had it due, and I didn't get anything from the professor. It didn't say, I'm sending you an email to these people. They like send it to mass people who like didn't do the assignment. That your assignment is coming up. Like, they didn't do that. They didn't have an announcement for the whole class. Like, I totally forgot about it, and so I didn't do it, and it sucked because like, it is partly my fault. Like, maybe a lot of it's my fault, but it's also professor's fault because they didn't remind. And I know it is an online class, so it is by independent. I need to be doing it, but it also sucks because I'm used to having professors email the students saying that there's something important coming up. Like, I wouldn't even care if that professor emailed us saying that there's something due tonight, because then I would be doing it. But because I didn't have that, it sucks. So, like, I'm saying it is my fault too, but like, it sucks. Like, is it fully my fault? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. It wasn't fully my fault. I would say it is 75% of my. I would say it is 75% my fault. Maybe even half. But like, if you're like, the professor needs to be speaking and communicating with their students too. So you know what? It's half my fault. All right, it's half my fault. Okay, and my last pro for having online classes, I would say, is that I do not have to like physically get ready every day to go to school. I love doing my homework in my pajamas, comfy clothes. I love doing my homework at home, on my bed, on the couch, with my dog. I love just doing my homework in the comfort of my zone. You know, my house is my zone. And so I don't have to get up and get ready like every day. I don't have to change out of my pajamas to put in some new clothes. I mean, you could go to school in your pajamas. I just don't like to do that. I don't have to get my dog's room ready. I can just let her go in the house. I mean, I do get ready, like I brush my teeth every morning, I eat, but like I don't have to just get ready to go to school, you know? Oh gosh. Like I said earlier, if I do need to like go out and study somewhere else, like I'll do that, but I don't have to get up every day at a certain time to get ready. You know, I can just wake up later whenever I want, you know? So here are the pros and cons. Not having to go on campus. Saving money. You don't have to be in the classroom to learn your material. Depending on the teacher, you can do your assignments whenever. And not having to get up and dress up every day. And then you have the cons. Sometimes lonely. Don't get answers quickly. You need to go on campus if you need to see your professor. Sometimes there could be some slack. And some professors just don't communicate with their students. And some professors just aren't the best. So there we have it, the 5 pros and the 5 cons of having online classes. So like I said, this is just my experience of having online classes. So there you have it. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me, or, you know, leave a nice comment. Please don't leave anything rude. That's not nice. Other than that, I have nothing else to say other than I hope that you guys are having a great morning, afternoon, night, dusk, dawn, wherever and whenever you are watching this video. I will see you in the next video. Bye! Filming this one, but now I'm gonna eat.